afternoon, I hope you're well and enjoying this sunshine. It is so hot today. It's 1 p.m. and it's currently 25 degrees. I'm going to head to the allotment very shortly. I've just been picking some more elderflower to make cordial because the batch that I made the other day is going down quickly. So I thought I'd make the most of it and catch it now before the flowers go over. I've also opened a box of chilies from my dad. He's been growing them. I think he started growing them very early this year under grow lights. And I don't know all of the specific varieties, but he has grown chocolate Scotch bonnets, got green chilies, thin chilies. I'll have to show you because I am just amazed. They look so good. I'm gonna have to really find some things to do with all of these chilies now. So if you've got any recommendations for chili recipes, especially Scotch bonnets, then I would really appreciate if you could share them. I'm thinking chili oil as a basic. I also need to save some of the seeds to try and grow them myself next year. My chilies are here at home and they're not even flowering yet. They're not looking like they're going to be producing anything anytime soon. Actually, I completely take that back. There are a few small flowers coming. These, from memory, are the red Decayenne chilies. Here's the box of goodies. I'm actually going to pop them in a bowl so I can have a good look. This one is huge. These are the chocolate Scotch bonnets. I wonder if they taste any different to normal Scotch bonnet. But aren't they beautiful? Lots of lovely green ones. And these ones look like a slightly different variety again. Wow, there's your classic Scotch bonnet. I imagine even my hands are going to be quite spicy from handling all of these. Goodness me, what a haul. I am super impressed with all of those chilies and kind of makes up for my lack of chili progress so far. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get your water on to boil and weigh out 900 grams of caster sugar. Well, that's what the recipe asks for, but I don't have that much caster sugar left, so I'm going to be improvising with whatever I've got left in terms of caster sugar, plus some granulated and topped up with honey. I ended up having about 460 grams of caster sugar left, so I topped up to 600 grams with the granulated, and I'm putting an extra 150 grams of honey in, so it's about a third of a jar. Now your kettle is boiled, you want to add 1.7 litres of boiling water to your sugar. Wow, this really smells like honey. So as you put aside your sugar mixture to cool down, it's time to give the elderflower a very gentle little wash. There's a school of thought that you don't want to wash the elderflower heads as you are removing the pollen which carries the sweetness, but what I have found is it's worth just giving them a very gentle swill from above, and I'm, as you can see, brushing my hand over, almost wetting my hand and brushing that over the heads to remove any bug rather than giving them a full drench. As I picked these ones about midday compared to the last lot that I picked in the early evening, there are far less bugs on here. So as I go along, I'm noticing that they're only requiring a little brush off rather than adding too much water anyway. So yeah, this technically is completely optional, and any remaining cheeky bugs that are hanging around will get sieved out when you drain the mixture anyway. And if you're wondering which elderflower heads to pick and when to know if they're good to pick or not, I went picking in my last video and showed which ones I would pick and not pick, so I will link that video in the description. Now the hot hot sugar mixture has cooled down, I will add 50 grams of citric acid, followed by the fruit and then the elderflower heads. And make sure that the flower heads are submersed in the liquid, and I will leave this steep for 24 hours just with a lid on the kitchen side. You don't have to heat it up or anything. And then 24 hours later it will be ready to drain and pour into sterilised jars. I just use a clean tea towel, which is like a fine mesh, and gradually pour the mixture in. Don't do what I've done here and put a little bit too much in too quickly, so it's overflowed a little bit, but once you get it going it runs through quite quickly. It's already 3:20, but I've made the elderflower cordial. I've done a lot of faffing around my vegetable pots at home, so now I'm finally going to head over to the allotment. Someone likes to come and join me when I'm filming. Again from the allotment. I've just made it down here, and you know when you have this niggly feeling that you're forgetting something? Well, that thing is my microphone, so I hope you can hear me okay and there's not too much background noise. There's a main road about 1/4 of a mile away or so, and we're relatively near the motorway, so depending on how the wind blows it can get quite loud, so hopefully it's okay. Little side note, I use the microphone because of the potential background noise, but I think actually my phone microphone is quite good as long as the conditions are okay. So this might end up sounding better than my other videos, we'll see. I have bought a Rode microphone thanks to Laura at the Tiny Garden, but I'm still trying to work out the settings as it sounds quite quiet, so a big thank you to both Laura for answering my many questions, as well as Danny from Grow Up Garden as well, thank you. So hopefully the sound will be consistently improved very soon. I do appreciate you all bearing with me on that front. Enough nattering, I am going to do some initial checking on the allotment, some watering and weeding, and I might try and pull up some of my second early potatoes. We have a bathroom fitter changing a couple of our bathrooms at home, so I'm sure he would really appreciate some potatoes as a gift. I'm not going to give many updates as I really do need to crack on, but it looks like I'll soon be harvesting a few broad beans, which is great because I was really worried that I wouldn't end up having any to harvest because of all the black fly. I've done 5 minutes of weeding in the direct sun and had to come in the shade for a drink. It's so hot. I'm not complaining because I have been complaining how cold it is, but wow, little and often is definitely going to be the plan for this afternoon. Otherwise I will be a melted puddle on the floor. But can't just stand here doing nothing in the shed. So I just want to show you the broccoli. I harvested another one the other night and I can see one ready to go and another one almost there, so I'm super happy. It's just pushing up against this netting here. I would say a couple more days, then we've got a perfectly formed floret here. Okay, at the moment it feels too hot to even be like wandering around. I know it's dramatic, but I'm trying to recall which potatoes are first, second earlies and which are main crops, so I can start to pull up and see if I've got any second earlies ready. This area is in the shade, so I'm going to take off this cover and pull up this flowering pak choi. Oh, so you can access the flowers. Now I feel bad pulling them out, but definitely needs a weed in there too. Wow, it's super dry in there. I haven't been very good with the watering in this area. Probably another reason why the pak choi has gone to seed. Just seems too much of a waste to pull these out now when the pollinators could be enjoying. So what I will do is just weed around this area, as that certainly needs doing. So I'm pulling out the deeper rooted weeds and then just kind of slicing the smaller ones like this and letting them dry on the surface, or just pulling them away to dry on the edge, because I probably will, well, I won't water these, but I will be watering other parts of the bed. I think I do have my hoe in the shed potentially, but this is doing the job anyway. I will return once I've done this. I'm not sure how much more I will be able to show my face on the camera today because I am just getting very warm and sweaty. But I've cleared the pak choi area in terms of weed and any of the, well, a lot of the really dead leaves, just so it's a bit tidier there. But I will be leaving this for at least a couple more days just for the pollinators to have a little munch on. Looks a lot tidier without that netting on there. All I think I'm going to be able to manage now is to hunt down the second early potatoes and hopefully have some to harvest, do some watering, and I think that will be it. I have absolutely no idea which are which in terms of potatoes, apart from I know these are definitely main crop. So that just leaves the ones over there and these two. Something is making me want to rummage around in these ones. I think I wrote it on the Grow Veg planner, but I don't have that with me. I can't access it on my phone for some reason. I don't know if they're going to be ready. They look so much smaller than my ones that I've got in pots at home, which are more like the ones back there. Now I'm starting to wonder, did I plant those first? But I don't think I did, no. Oh, I've just spotted something that could prove very helpful. Uh-oh. Helpful and not helpful because I've had a disaster. What? How did I not notice this? This is so annoying. Oh dear. So I've spent a lot of time earthing up the other ones with grass, but I've missed these ones and they've come up out of the ground, and yeah, these are now inedible because they've gone a bit green, which is poisonous. Do not eat those. But those are definitely not my Charlotte potatoes, so these must be main crop. So what I'm going to do is, oh no, oh, this is a disaster. This is rule 101. Don't let your potatoes see the light. I can't even say this is a lesson because I already knew that, but it is a lesson to be more diligent with your potatoes. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think I've just spent a lot more time looking after my ones at home and then other crops here, so yeah. Hopefully there are some in there. So I'm going to crack on with pulling up the green potatoes and then covering over the remaining stems. Fingers crossed. I'm doing a lot of fingers crossed at the moment. Not quite the potato harvesting I had planned. Dear me. At least now I know that these are main crop. Note to self, because the Charlottes definitely don't have this red colouring. Okay, well, it's good to know that they are growing. Bit of bindweed there. So I will come back and add some compost on top of these as well. It must keep rummaging. Oh my goodness, Dora! What? You numpty. You definitely don't want to risk eating these ones. Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't know if that one's okay because it was hidden. I'm definitely going to have to take... I'm not risking it. Oh, this is very bittersweet because I've got potatoes, but I've ruined them. Okay, it could be worse in terms of losses, but not ideal. Oh, poor potatoes. I bet they would have been delicious. Alright, now that fiasco is over, I'm going to see what these potatoes are and what they're like. The downside to growing potatoes in the ground is that you can't just pop your hand in and have a look around like you can in a pot to discover what variety it is. I'm just checking to see if any have popped up out of the surface and therefore have the same problem as the other ones. But thankfully these ones are looking okay. Yay! These are definitely Charlotte potatoes, and I did spot what looked like a tiny bit of dusty mould there on this, but I think it's okay. So these are definitely second-earlies, and looking at the size of this one, yay, they should be ready to harvest. So I'm going to pull up all of these plants and see how many we've got. I can't believe the size. All of this from one seed potato. I was going to show you this, which is like a lot of white dots in the soil. I need to read up on the potatoes in Charles Dowding's book and see what the pests are. Yeah, it's burrowed into one of them and completely hollowed the potato out. So, not great, but I will take that I've already harvested that amount of good potatoes from the single seed potato in that one plant. So I think I'm going to get a good crop from this as long as there aren't many more of these holy ones. This is the seed potato. This one is absolutely huge, but unfortunately I think something's been trying to get into there, so we're going to have a look at that one, but might be able to chop some of it off and eat it. I can't believe how big that is. I've never grown a Charlotte potato that large. big the seed potatoes are. They weren't that large. Okay, this is my disappointed face. I'm not overly enamoured with that harvest. I haven't dug down yet, but I have a feeling there's not much else, if anything, under there. I will have a little dig around and see. But yeah, so far I'm wondering whether to either stick to pots next year, or I'm going to be adding some raised beds on the plot somewhere, so maybe grow them in there instead. I'm not going to be completely disheartened, as I've got a few potatoes, and I have always said that if I've got one of something, then it's been a success this year. I'm a little bit more critical with potatoes, as I have been growing those for years in pots. So, my last harvest at home from the containers was a lot more successful, but hey ho, it's all part of the fun. There's a high risk of chopping a potato in half here. I say high risk, actually I take that back. It would be a high risk if there were potatoes, but I don't think there are. But I really do need to get a fork down here instead of a spade. Right, Sweaty Betty here. I've dug over a little bit, as you saw, and haven't found anything apart from a little bit of bindweed. So I'm going to give up with that. I'm now tempted to see what's in the next bed, so I'm going to do that. I did bring down, optimistically, some carrot seeds, pak choy, and the leeks that I bought last Wednesday. But, oh, and I was going to plant out that chard. I will do all of that another day, because as much as I'm very much enjoying being down here, I feel like my face is slipping off and I'm very clammy. And I know it sounds like I'm complaining again, I really am not. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at that absolute whopper of a Charlotte potato. So these ones are definitely second earlies too. And let's hope that this harvest is going to be more than the first one. Who knows? They're so close together, but maybe they could be completely different. Such a mixed bag with the potatoes. What is happening here? I have never seen that before. That's no good. And then one of them over there had seen the light as well and was a bit green on the end, but I'll cut that off. But then these ones are great. And then we've had one more holy one as well, so it really is keeping me on my toes. So, second update, I did not plant these ones. These must have been what the lady who had the allotment before me grew. And these are pink fir apple by the look, and they're very small, but I'm sure they'll be tasty. It seems that with both of those areas, the first one that I pulled was the best. And then it went downhill from there. having a minute sitting on the floor now before I head home. It's just nice and cool down here. Anyway, it's been a really nice day. It's been so warm and it feels like an intense summer right now. So I've done lots of garden pottering. I've made some more elderflower cordial that will be ready tomorrow, and I've had a few potatoes from the allotment. I am quite surprised at how bad the potatoes have been so far. It is what it is. Thank you as always, and if you haven't subscribed I would really appreciate if you could, and I will see you again soon for another video. Happy gardening, bye!